Hi, I see someone's here. I'm really excited to get started with you guys today and do a little reading. I just wanted to hop on here, see if anyone was wanting a reading today. Hey. Hey, everyone. Definitely say something in the chat once you're here so I can see who's here and who's ready to get started today. I have some cards here to go through with you guys, so I'm excited to do that. Oh, hi, Dolly. Hi, Dolly. How are you? Are you having a good day or a good night? How's everyone's day been so far? Has it been a good day, a bad day, busy? I'd love to hear how everyone is doing. Dolly, yes, good night so far. Great. Yeah, no, I'm having a good night too. I'm a little hungry. I don't know if you guys have had dinner yet or not, but I'm hungry. But sometimes hunger can be a good thing, right? Yeah, I'm happy you're having a good night tonight, Dolly. And yeah, so I just kind of want to take some time and see if anyone has any readings they'd like me to do. I know that yesterday we had a ton of amazing people that we did some really great readings for. And I just wanted to hop on here and see if anyone else has more questions for me or would like some readings that we can do. And if not, we can just chat. And oh, Crystal. Hi, Crystal. How are you? Yeah, so basically, for one card reading, it's $20. I think I wrote this in the description, or maybe I did last time, but for a one card reading, it's $20. For a two card reading, it's 30, and it kind of goes up from there. So just to let you guys know what the overall rates are normally. And just to let you know too, that's through the super chat, and that just allows us to continue coming on here and just talking to you guys and everything. So and if not, if no one needs a reading tonight, that's totally cool too. We'll just chat a little bit and kind of discuss what's going on in everyone's life. And just kind of, I wanted to just touch base with everyone tonight. So I'm very excited to be here. Oh, hi, Mary. How are you? So good. You joined me again this tonight. So thank you. I love seeing you here. So yesterday was a great reading, Mary, wasn't it? Didn't you feel like yesterday was a great reading? Yeah, no, yesterday me and Mary had a really great reading. And yesterday, I don't know who was able to come yesterday to the reading and the live, but we had a ton of amazing readings and it was very touching. Of course, I like almost cried, but I feel like I almost always cry in these readings just because they're so touching and heartfelt. But anyway, yeah, so I'm just gonna start shuffling the cards and everything and see if anyone has any questions for me tonight that they'd like to get answered. I'm really feeling, just because we just had a full moon recently, I'm really feeling those vibes and that energy from the full moon. Like I feel very much so. Yesterday, I already paid for the reading, but I can't go inside the live suddenly and didn't get the second one. Oh my gosh. Okay, Mary, I'm so sorry that that happened to you. Okay. So, oh my gosh. So, oh, hi, Karhu. So yeah, so we can kind of finish your reading too, Mary, if you'd like. Hi everyone. So happy to have you. So I was just kind of saying that I felt like the energy has kind of been very much present since the full moon. I don't know if anyone else has kind of noticed this, but since 2 days ago was the full moon, and since then I've just really felt like this shift in energy. And it's almost like I felt very like tired and then I suddenly felt very awake, if that makes sense. It's kind of like almost a renewal, right? And kind of a renewal of our spirit. And I don't know if anyone else can relate to that, but I definitely feel like the full moon definitely affects me and affects, how I'm doing emotionally, what my energy is like, how I'm able to protect my energy, all of that. And today, too, if you guys want to, just so we can start chatting about a few things, I wanted to kind of go over to like basically protecting your energy, because I feel like that's such an important thing. And that's something that I personally am working on in my own spiritual life right now, is to really get better at, creating those healthy, creating those healthy boundaries with our energy where we're not always so affected by other people. Because that's something that I don't know if anyone else can relate to that. If you can relate to that, definitely put it in the chat because I'd love to know if anyone else can relate to like really being drawn into others, and your chakras violent winds. Dolly says her chakras violent winds were very strongly during the night. Yes, for sure. Like in the night too, that can definitely be a big factor that we experience with energy levels, and we can kind of feel that, hectic, almost roller coaster storm like emotions. The full moon makes me really overwhelmed with my sadness. Yeah, like I feel like it affects everyone a little bit differently depending on, your spiritual journey, depending on your, everything, your zodiac, everything. So I feel like it can definitely affect others in different ways, but I feel like it does normally have an effect to some degree on most people, especially those who are kind of in touch with their spirituality. So, oh, hello, Jose. Nice to have you here today with me and with everyone here, this community. So we were just kind of chatting so far really about the full moon, and we were kind of also talking a little bit about protecting our energy and like not, really sucking in the energy of everyone else. Because like, for example, like for me personally, I am very much someone who loves to, of course, be with other people and bond with other people. Like I'm very extroverted. Is anyone else here an extrovert, or do we have introverts? I'd love to know. So drop it in the chat if you're an extrovert or introvert, because I always am interested to know that. But for me, I'm very extroverted. So I really love being with other people and, being around other people and being surrounded with others' emotions. And I'm someone who loves, creating relationships with others and really feeling, I'm definitely a feeler in a lot of ways. And I feel like that can sometimes, kind of both Aquarius, Dolly says. Okay, yeah. So, and I feel like, that can sometimes really, you're an extrovert too, Jose, me too. And I feel like it's really, gives me energy to be with other people. It really lights me up to like, I feel like, where I'm supposed to be. I don't like being alone so much, it's not, I'd rather be with other people, with my friends, with, people that, that I care about, my family, whoever else. And it's kind of like almost, I mean, it's a great thing though, too, to really balance, that with, being able to be okay in who you are and be okay, with yourself always as well too. Yeah, Jose, I hate being alone too. And like I actually live alone right now. So this is the first time I've like ever really lived alone. And it's kind of like interesting almost because I'm kind of having to come to this thing where I'm like not always around my friends, not always around like my boyfriend or whoever else, right? And or my family. And like, it's kind of like a different dynamic, but I kind of like it in a lot of ways because, hey, Anjali. So nice to see you again. Oh, and Mary, you said, what is my higher self universe want to talk to me? Oh, okay. So Mary, so we will answer that question for you right now, and kind of get to that in the beginning of this reading. But oh yeah, okay. I'm so sorry, Jose, that you're in a bad marriage right now. That's really hard. And yeah, I do believe that's another thing that I've learned too, because I was someone too, this is interesting, but I was someone who like I've always been super extroverted, super like always wanting to be around people, around it, like wanting to be around my family, like my friends, like always being surrounded with people. And I think there's some beauty too in like almost not forcing yourself, but allowing yourself to be okay being alone sometimes and to be strong in that, like allowing yourself to really, thank you so much, Anjali. You are so sweet. Thank you. That is so sweet of you. You are beautiful. Your soul is beautiful too. So thank you. And yeah, so I just feel like there's some beauty in like knowing who you are at that level and being okay in the silence. It's kind of almost meditative in a way too, like to be okay with being alone and be okay with yourself when you're not with another person. So then when you are, with another person or in a relationship, you're even more strong because you love yourself even that much more and you even know yourself even that much more. So I feel like that is a great thing for us extroverts to really keep in mind. And because there was a time where I was like, I literally can't imagine like, I mean, because again, like I've always lived with my girlfriends, I've always been around people. And then it became where I was like, Yeah, exactly. It does allow you to heal. It allows you to take that time for yourself and really realize, your own thoughts, realize your own wishes, your wants, your desires, and your ambitions, and really be able to be in tune with that. And it's almost meditative in a way, too, right? Like it's almost like we take the time then to really look in and take the time to be still and silent. Because if you know me as well, too, I'm a talker. Like I will talk, like I will never stop talking. To be honest. I will just talk and talk, and like everyone knows that, about me. And I mean, yeah, I definitely am a talker, but like it's almost good for me to have that where I'm like, okay, I have to force myself to just like sometimes talk, like not talk to myself, but to just sometimes meditate to myself and like really allow myself those moments, to really embrace that and embrace myself in that way. And just like you said, oh yeah, definitely. Jose, since you're an Aquarius, that definitely does put that into perspective as well, too. So that makes a lot of sense. So now I kind of do want to shift over to Mary, because I know, Mary, you said that you weren't able to kind of complete your reading. So let's go to Mary's reading today. It says, what she says, what does my higher self universe want to tell me? So let's see what the universe really has in mind for you today, Mary. So I'm going to knock my energy into the cards today. And again, inhale. And I definitely had, exhale. And when I do these with you later on in the day, I realize I'm carrying on more weight from the day, because again, too, I'm very much in touch with my emotions, but that can sometimes be a negative thing where I will, I can't, I'm very bad at like hiding my emotions and how I'm feeling. And like today, definitely I had some ups and downs. But, right now, being in with you in this moment and really being mindful right now with you, I'm able to kind of release any of that, release that which we cannot control, and just come to my center, come to realizing what is truly, truly important. So I just wanted to take that second and kind of say that I love, spending this time with you guys to really chat. And it does allow me to kind of take that time to be like, okay, like let's center ourselves. Let's focus on, not the demands of the world, but what is going on spiritually with me and with all of you guys. So I really love that and really love these moments and these readings together. So Mary, let's see. So what is the universe trying to tell you? I'm really feeling drawn to green. So let's see what green has to say. I don't know why greens and blues are really coming to my mind right now with you, Mary, and I'm not necessarily sure why, but greens and blues are very present. So the first card, interesting. The first card I pulled for you, Mary, is companionship. So, and this is so funny, just like we were saying yesterday when we were talking, we were like talking about how a lot of the times when we'll do readings, we'll talk about something and then it will come up in a reading and we're like, that's amazing. And again, everything happens for a reason, but I feel like there's definitely a reason that we were just talking about being okay with being alone versus that companionship. So the universe wants you to focus on companionship. And this is an actual message right to you, Mary. So it says, when you fully bless, wait, guys, okay, you guys are going to, I am not making this up right now. For everyone who's been here during this reading this whole time, remember we were just talking about being okay being alone. I'm sorry, this is actually so crazy. So this card right here says, when you fully bless and embrace your aloneness, you're ready for the ones who you were meant to be with. Is that, we just talked about that, guys. Like put that in the chat if you're not almost a little bit freaked out. Like I know I get freaked out every time I do readings almost, because I'm like, wow, like that is insane. But we just talked about this literal exact thing. And it literally, that's the message from the universe to you, Mary, is it says, when you fully bless and embrace your aloneness, you're ready for the ones who are meant to be with you. That's great. And then it says, may I welcome this solitude, knowing it will open the way for all healthy relationships. So that's, I'm like almost like overjoyed with like, that's so amazing that was what I pulled. So I feel like, yeah, so wow. And you just released, see, we all like come together as a community, I feel like too here, Dolly, like how you just like are able to relate to that too. And like, I feel like, this reading is not only for Mary, but it's also for me. So it's really, the universe is saying to really just be able to embrace yourself as you are, to embrace yourself in the silence, being alone, to fully embrace that, because that will allow you to prepare for your soulmate and for the one that you're meant to be with. So this is so crazy because we just we're talking about this and talking about me, how I like right now am like, not in a relationship and whatever. And we were talking about this and like how there can be power in that. So that's crazy that we pulled this card first. And it literally, says that let's welcome that solitude. Let's welcome that aloneness. Let's welcome that time to really understand ourselves, to love ourselves, Mary, and to, welcome the universe and the angels and the divine to really act in our lives and tell us what we're looking for. Because this is another thing I'm feeling called to tell you guys right now. It's like if we don't know ourselves, if we don't know who we are as people and what we believe, what we want, what we stand for, what we desire, then how can we ever find the person that God has made for us? How can we ever find them if we are not even sure, who we are? If we don't love ourselves, how can we love another person with all our heart? It doesn't make sense. So there is so much beauty in healing and taking that time. And another thing that really came to my mind as I'm talking here is healing. Like, not only is it good to love yourself and know yourself and be confident in who you are as a person and be confident in that solitude and, in that alone time. It is so great to be confident in that and to have those qualities and, have that. But it's also really, really great to be able to heal, right? So to take the time you need to not always exactly have to be in a relationship, right? Like, I get it. I like being in a relationship too. I like, that so much. But sometimes you have to prioritize yourself in the way that it's like, what do you want? What are your goals? Do you know? Are you healed? Are you fully ready? And not only that, there's a dimension of making sure you're fully ready, making sure you're fully healed and fully, ready for that relationship on a personal level. But it's also, is it the right person? And that's another really big thing that I'd like to say too. Like, once you're at that point where you've like healed and you feel like you are very much able to embrace that loneliness, or not loneliness, but alone time, right? That time of reflection, that time of meditation and healing. Once you're able to fully embrace that, then it almost comes down to, okay, now I need to know what I want. Since I know myself, I need to know what I'm looking for in, my soulmate, in my future partner. And I want to make sure that I don't compromise that, because that's another thing I see a lot of, people do, and my friends and a lot of people, basically we will, and I have done this too, where it's like, I know what I want and what I deserve and what I'm looking for, but then it's like, but yet why am I settling for someone who's treating me in this way or is not those things that I expect in a relationship? Why am I settling for anything less than what I deserve and what I want in a potential partner? And that's why too, I just felt kind of called to tell you this too, Mary. A beautiful thing that I'm feeling that would be great for you to start doing is, it's something I actually started doing when I was like back in high school. And I went to one of my friend's cousins who was kind of like a spiritual advisor at the time. And she has like a beautiful life and she's very wise. And she talked about how she met her future husband, and her husband and her are just the like most perfect pair of people I've ever met. But like, she's like a saint and like he's just amazing and like very, very successful, and like just they're such a beautiful, amazing couple. And basically she told me, she was like, Megan, like, you need to literally like, you need to know exactly what you want. You need to know, what you imagine your future husband to be like. You want to know, what you want. You want true love. Like, she knew me and she was like, I know you, like, I know you want, all these things for your life and for your future. And like, if you want that, you have to visualize it. You have to write it down. You have to write down all the traits that you want in your future husband and your future soulmate. And so I literally remember doing that like back in high school. I would write, I would write Mary like all the things that were important to me for a man to have. And like one thing, for example, like I'll just give you a few examples, but one thing would be like, really good with like family. So like a family person, someone who loves like children, who loves like animals, and like also who like gets along with my family. And it's almost like hard to put into words because it's like almost a feeling, but I still would try my best, Mary, to kind of put that into words. But it's like whatever you want to manifest with this person and with your future soulmate, that's kind of what I would write down. So like, for me, like family, so having like strong family values. They don't have to have a strong family, but like they have to be involved with my family. you know? So like they have to like love my mom and like, you know, like just kind of get along with my family in the way that like, you know, just I feel like that's important to me because I'm very much like I love my family and I'm very, very much like into family and friends. And I just think that that's important, you know, for someone that I see my future with, that they love, you know, my mom, because like I love her too, and I just think that that's something very important to me. So I think it's important to have those characteristics, you know, and write them down. So and oh, you were doing that too, Karhu. You said that's exactly what I'm doing, and then reading the list out loud. Exactly. I would totally encourage you to do that. So not only, you know, did I write down that and a few other things as well, you know, and then what I would do is I would pray on it, meditate on it, and you can even speak it out loud. You should just kind of go over it every day. And then but I do want to caution you here because this is where things get hard, because I personally am sometimes bad with this too. Is like sometimes I'll be like he has to be, you know, like exactly like fits this perfect image of like has to be every single thing, like, you know, and it's good to have high expectations. It's so good. But I can be sometimes nitpicky where I'm like, "Oh, he doesn't have brown hair." Like I get very nitpicky about like sometimes like now I sound mean, but I get nitpicky sometimes about things that and then I think about it and I'm like, "Really? Is that really what's important?" You know? So I do want to put that into play as well too. So if it's like a specific thing, like she has to be, you know, have you know, red hair with blue eyes and have freckles and like little specific details. You can like you can picture those things, but I wouldn't put that as something that's like a deal breaker for you, if that makes sense. If it's not something that's like on a deeper level. Again, we obviously are all physically attracted to different kind of types of people, so that's totally fine to have your own, you know, people that you're attracted to and whatnot, and to have like physical preferences. That's totally that's part of being human. That makes sense. But I just meant like when it comes to like little tiny like or like to say like, oh, they don't like, you know, like for example, like Harry Potter, like or something like that. Like, oh, if they don't like Harry Potter, then like they're not my soulmate. Like that's a little bit like too much, you know. So I would just make like a fine line there. Like it's okay to visualize your perfect person, but I wouldn't close yourself off just because like they've never seen The Office or something like that, you know, like something little, and like just make sure that you're not being, but at the same time, when it's important, when it's things like having a caring heart, respecting you, being funny. Like, for example, I could never be with someone who's not funny, because that's just every single person I'm ever close to is always funny and makes me laugh, because that's just very important to me too. So it can be those kind of characteristics, but I would just suggest it not be anything like super, super specific, but still have those standards and don't settle for anything less than that. So, anyways, I hope that that helped you a little bit, Marion. We'll draw another card for you too to kind of get more clarity on what the universe really wants to send your way. But if anyone else wants another reading too after Mary's, just remember to use that super chat function and then just submit your question and I will get to your question next. So just want to let you guys know that too. But that's awesome that you're doing that too, Karhu, because I love that. Like I just think that that's very, very helpful for manifesting things into reality. You know, it's law of attraction right there, you know. So I think that that's definitely been helpful, you know, in my own life, and just remembering, you know, and not settling for anything less than what you deserve, because there's so many people, and you know, so many of my friends, just so many people I've known um who sometimes can settle, you know, and it's like I see them and I'm like, you just deserve the best, you know, and like you truly do deserve the best too. And another important aspect of this too is like to always not only, you know, have these high expectations of another person, but to also become those things yourself, if that makes sense. Like if I, you know, one of the things is like being like, you know, loving, being kind-hearted, having a big heart underneath it all. Like that's a big thing to me. And like then I have to think of myself. I'm like, am I always being kind and caring and compassionate to others? And really making sure that you're like you are creating the character traits that you're looking for in your future partner is big. So again, yeah, like, you know, definitely if I want someone who's kind-hearted and good with children, you know, I'm not going to be like some, you know, I'm not going to do the opposite of that. I'm going to always still be kind-hearted. And if I want someone who's, you know, outgoing, like it just it makes sense to just really fully embrace what you're looking for and be who you are fully, and then that will really help to manifest that relationship into existence. But anyways, so Mary, I'm going to select a card for you. I'm feeling this card for you, Mary, next. So eyes of love. So this is interesting. So it's saying focus your eyes on loving actions and your lips on loving words, which we kind of just talked about again, Mary. So I just kind of said focusing on, being the best version of yourself, which is literally what we were just saying. And that's the card that I pulled for you, Mary, is eyes of love. So I would just really focus on being the best version of yourself. And then Karhu, you said, yes, I think finding inspiration in each other would help us grow together. I agree, Karhu. That's why I'm so into, having this community and having this amazing family here on YouTube, because again, I just think we can really support each other in that way. We can, continue to just check up on each other, see how everything's going, see, what we're struggling with, what we're going through, and just be there to support each other. Because I just want to say right now, like, one thing I just am feeling called to say right now is like, sometimes it's easy to just look at people, right, and think, they don't understand, or like they don't get it, or how can they relate to me. And it's one of the beautiful things about what I do is like I see how so many people really do go through similar pain, similar heartbreak, and similar experiences in life, even if they're through different lenses, right? So I feel like us joining together as a community and really, creating that positive energy and just really ascending, into higher vibrations together can really help us all out, And like, for example, I just want to say too that like if you think like, oh, like these people will never understand what I'm going through, like that's not necessarily true, because of course we all have our own individual experiences. But sometimes we should never judge someone else's pain. That's what I'm kind of feeling called to say, is it's like we are each entitled to our feelings. We are each entitled to our experiences and what we're going through. And the best thing we can do is just love. We can love others. We can pour out that unconditional love and support for others, and be the people that they need us to be. And just, be like, listen as well is another big thing. Like, you know, be there and just listen to their experience, listen to what they're going through, listen to what they are facing right now in life, and just be there. Like, just being there is so much of it, so much of being a positive, not only a good friend but also a good, part of this spiritual community, is just, just relating in that human way, right? Because we all face so much, and we all go through struggles. We all have ups and downs in life. We all have good days and bad days. And I'm not here to minimize anyone's experience. I'm just here to say that we can relate, in that like we can find solace in each other, if that makes sense. And we can find, the positivity and light, because I do believe that as dark as life can get, which it can get really, really dark sometimes, yeah, being a good supportive friend is important to me too, Karhu says. Yes, I totally agree, Karhu. So it's like, life can get so dark sometimes, and it can just seem like, and I'm gonna tear up or something almost again, but I think like life can sometimes seem just like, how is this gonna get better? Like, am I going to find my soulmate? Like, all these things that we go through, or like, am I like, is it what's gonna happen to me? Like all these terrible things, and these times we go through, we still have to remember that, there is a plan for us, right? There is a plan. There is that person. There is something beautiful coming for us. And like we have to continue to really believe that in order to receive that, because you have to have faith in order to receive. And I think that's just important to just remember too, that there's so much, there's so much hurt and pain in the world, and trauma and terrible things, like terrible things. And it does get better though, is like what I'm here, to tell you. And I know everyone's experience is different, but things do get better, and we're always here to help each other. We're always here to support each other. And just to know that you're not alone, and like you're never ever alone. Like, like we are all here. Like I, love all of you guys. I'm always wanting to pour out my heart to you, and just I appreciate just how you guys are able to do that for me too. So anyway, I just want to say I'm just so grateful for everyone here, and you guys are all just so great. And another thing that just kind of came on the top of my mind right now too, since I haven't seen anyone else who really wants a reading done, I was just kind of thinking of a few things that have been calling to me, but is really, to just to also understand where people are coming from, in the way of like, if someone's not necessarily nice to you, right? If someone is kind of makes you feel bad in some ways. You have to remember it's not you. You know, we can't, and I tend to do this a lot where I'm always like taking things and being like, oh no, like I could have done this or I could have done that, right? It's kind of like internalizing things around us. And we have to remember, you know, people have hurt, people have things that are going on in their lives. And all we can do is literally just love, right? We can just be who we are, be that light for others, even when, you know, they are necessarily going through not the best times, right? All we can do is just continue to just show mercy and love for others and be who we are and be that light and be that ray of positivity. So I don't know. I just really felt called to tell you guys that tonight. Like, just to continue. I mean, of course, you have to protect yourself when it comes to like anything that's, you know, you have to set those boundaries, of course, but it's always important to just remember to remain positive and remain who you are. And if you are a person who's kind to everyone, which I feel like everyone is like that here, if you're someone who's loving and kind and caring, like I just think that sometimes, you know, people won't always return that to you, but I would just continue being who you are and continue being like a bright light to others, you know, and allowing your light to shine. And I just think it's important, again, to just remember that and to, you know, find that. And you can find that through meditation and solitude too, just like we were kind of discussing earlier. So, anyways, I just wanted to know, you know, if anyone else has any other readings that they would like tonight, just let me know through the super chat and I will get to those. But yeah, so I just kind of was kind of just thinking that, but again, I just wanted to kind of come on here and just chat with you guys today. I really love chatting and seeing what you guys have to say. And I'm actually, you know, I was thinking about visiting a good friend of mine too soon. And she also, it would be cool, you know, she's very spiritually wise. So definitely getting some guidance from her too pretty soon. But yeah, so I don't know if anyone else has any readings for tonight, or if not, this can just be a quick session. But I seriously love all of you guys so much. And if no one else has any other readings, I guess I will go. But just wanted to let you guys know. Yeah, no, of course, Mary. I hope that that helped you. Anyways, I just wanted to let you guys know, you know, that I'm here always and just wanted to say hi. So, bye, guys.